Like, how do you coach or discuss turnovers? Is it film? Is it having open conversations back and forth with the players?
Oh, sorry.
Just like I said, film and just kind of just showing like what they're trying to do. But like we had like I think 11 was unforced, like uncharacteristic of us, and we just can't throw blind passes and then picking them off, getting layups and dunks in transition where we can't get back and recover. And so our guys understand that, and having 60 points in the paint. If you take away, 9 of those turnovers, you have 11. At least 5 of those possessions, we'd be getting to the paint again and trying to make a play. And so we understand that. And so that was a game we let get away. We understand what we have to do. I thought when we attacked the right way, how we were supposed to offensively, we got everything we wanted. And then when we didn't, they was able to take advantage of it.
James had a great game, but he still was a foul trouble. Did that affect the video at all?
I think so. I mean, you can see a few possessions where he wasn't as aggressive. He kind of, opened the doors, opened the gate a little bit, not wanting to get that foul. But we needed him on the floor, and so, he's down on the under the basket wrestling with Gordon the whole game. That's going to happen. And so we just got to be smart about it and maybe mix those matchups a little bit more so he's not only for the whole game. But I thought he got a lot of it just trying to wrestle around with Gordon and Joker down on the block.
How did Kawhi come out of that game physically?
He feels good.
How do you kind of get him back on track? In the second quarter, he had a great second quarter. Second half and overtime, obviously turnovers creeped up, but also it didn't look like he was able to get to his spots. How do you kind of get him back on track?
Yeah, I think the pace. I think with them mixing up coverages kind of kept him off balance where he was, just trying to fill out what they were doing instead of just attacking and going for his and then making the play, off his instincts. And so, he was trying to just ease into if they're blitzing or if they're dropping, and he wasn't in an attack mode. And so just getting back to an attack mode and not caring what coverage they're in.
What's your objective when you decide when the team decides to double team, especially double team Nikola?
When we have a small guy on, but it's the timing of it, and we made a lot of mistakes as far as when we went, when we were supposed to go, and the timing wasn't right. And so if he sees you coming, he's going to pick you apart. We want to try to, come when he's blind, and we can, come from the backside when he turns his back. And so a few times we just made a mistake of just coming too early before he put the ball on the floor. And we just got to be better with that.
So he didn't have any turnovers after halftime. Is that a point of emphasis? Like, what have you talked about as far as seeing how he's able to make those passes and getting him to pay for his ability to find his teammates?
Yeah, I think making him play in the crowd, making him see a crowd, but also the timing of when we come, I think is very important, especially when you have a 7-foot guy who can pass the ball the way he does. You got to make sure, you know exactly what we're doing and when we're going to do it.
Adelman went away from MPJ for most of the fourth quarter and then all of OT. Obviously, it's a really small sample size in terms of what you've been able to see from him at the helm. But is that malleability, his willingness to kind of go away from established starters, is that something that has stood out to you early in his head coaching tenure?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you get to the playoffs, you got to go with what's working, and so it's not personal. You're trying to win the game for that night, and tomorrow could be something totally different, and so I commend him for doing that, whatever works and whatever, gets your team to win, that's what you got to go with.
When you got a player like Russ who he knows a lot of what y'all do. I know y'all probably changed a bunch, but how much does that affect y'all? Like, how much do you have to point up? It's like he was just here. He probably knows what you want to do based on how you're lining up or who's on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it has much of an effect. I mean, like I said, we had 60 points in the paint. The biggest thing for us is our turnovers, and it's the careless turnovers. Like, Denver's playing, they're blitzing, they're aggressive, they're physicality, so you're going to have 10 turnovers because of that. But you can't have 20, especially on the road. And so a lot of those turnovers were careless, and we just got to do a better job of cleaning that up.
How much do you think it's more, obviously the physical aspect of it, but, the mental aspect of the game moving forward and putting behind yesterday?
Oh, yesterday's behind us already. We got to move on. It's one game, and we got to be better in the second game if we want to go home with a series title of 1-1, and we understand that. And so just being better all around the board. We know we can do some things better defensively. Offensively, we have the blueprint, and we just got to execute it, time and time again.
Having been obviously in a ton of playoff series, what do you enjoy about the chess match from game to game and making the adjustments?
Just being able to see what they're doing, how they're trying to attack us, and things we can do different on both sides of the basketball to attack them. And so we saw what we needed to see last night, and I think we'll be a lot better tomorrow.
Do you stick with the same rotation? Do you make adjustments, changes along the way, see what's working best for you and this team?
We have another half of what we did last night.
What does that mean?
We have another half. If it doesn't work, then something different will be done.
All right.
When you preach turnovers all week coming into the game, and then you have the game that you did in game one, what's your first thought when you see how many turnovers you guys have after what you did preach all week to them?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's the game, and we just got to understand that we got to be better, you know. And so, I'm not pointing at one, you know, specific thing, but just understand like we just can't throw careless passes. We understand where they're doubling from. We understand how they're blitzing, how we want to be set up, how we want to attack it, and so it shouldn't be a surprise if they fire where we're supposed to be, get to our spots, and so it shouldn't be a surprise, you know. And so, you know, I think with us, we got to make the simple play, and then we also got to hit the first available person when they're trying to blitz us or trying to take us out of what we're trying to do, and not hold it, and try to bait guys, and now they get their defense set and we're turning the basketball over.
What was the general feeling after game one?
It was kind of mixed, you know. We knew we had a really good chance to get the game one on the road and kind of mess it up on our own. A lot of turnovers, a lot of offensive rebounds at the end, and I feel like, you know, we kind of gave it away. So it was, you know, from that aspect, we were not happy, but we've seen the way we can play when we're at our best. We've seen what we can do, and there's a lot of positive stuff we can take away from the game one.
You got this matchup with Nikola, and like it got really physical. You know, there's one time you drew an offensive foul. Next play, you know, he gets an offensive foul drawn on you. Like, what's it like dealing with his, not just his physicality, but just the fact that I'm not want to say he's flopping, but he's very theatrical with the contact that he draws.
For me, it's fun going against one of the best players in the league. It's fun. It's physical. I like you know, physical matchups, and he always brings it. He plays hard every possession. He's physical, and it's a big challenge for me. So it's been fun.
How do you stay poised in the heat of all that?
I don't know what to tell you. It's not a big problem for me.
So among the players, what's your discussions about all the turnovers? How do you guys sort of talk to each other about that?
There's not much to say. We all know where we made mistakes. There was a lot of unforced turnovers. I mean, a lot of them were forced by them. They played really well after that first quarter. So we all know we got to be better. We can't turn the ball over that much. So there's not much we can say to each other. We all know what's at stake. We all know where we messed up. So I'm sure everyone will be better next year.
So it looked like maybe you guys made an effort to get you the ball early. You got 8 in the first quarter, the first 4 or 6. Is there anything they did to kind of slow down maybe what you guys had working as far as getting the ball?
That's in the beginning they were kind of blitzing the pick and roll, and that's where we got into a lot of our stuff, where we were making some, where we were getting some easier looks, and then later on they kind of they weren't in the blitz as much, but I don't know. I mean, my first points were, you know, first 8, 4 was offensive rebounds. One of them was a drop off. One of them was a ATL that we ran, but it was just in the flow of the game. I wouldn't say it was you know, designed, but you know, a lot of that stuff is going to be there during the series. So just got to be smart and take advantage of it.
I know that you like to be unselfish, get guys on the short roll coming from the baseline, but it feels like a lot of those opportunities you were also pretty open to take a shot as well.
Yeah.
How are you balancing whether to? Because I feel like they'll anticipate those in the passing lanes kind of change them.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to be in a lot of spots where I have to make the decision, playing 4 and 3, and it's all about being patient and reading that low man. He steps up, made that pass to a corner cutter, if not, finish with my floater or try to go and dunk it. So I think there was few possessions where I could have shot it, and I was looking to pass it, but definitely got to be more patient and be more aggressive to go finish.
How much of things are mental when it comes to being in a playoff, atmosphere?
A lot. You got to be locked in at all times. There's no possessions off. You got to go hard. The game slows down so much, and it's all about mismatches, and you just got to be locked in into all coverages. It's way different than a regular season. You have so many coverages, and you got to be focused on a lot of things at the same time. So there's a big mental aspect.
Ty said that he thought Kawhi didn't get aggressive enough against their coverages. In the time that he's been back this season, was this kind of, I'm not going to say the worst game that you've seen him play, but is it the most tepid you've seen in terms of his aggression down the stretch of a game where he's not able to kind of be as aggressive as you guys would like to see?
I don't know. Kawhi's always looking to make a right play, and he's always going to try to make the right play. So sometimes that might be a pass, sometimes that might be a shot, but he's a big-time player who makes big-time plays, and I'm sure he knows what he did well, what he didn't, and I'm sure he's going to make adjustments on his own and be better in a game too, like we all are.
When you look at one of the last two games you guys played with the Warriors in this one, obviously everyone tries to put mismatches, but it seems like Norman Bogey have been guys that they try to kind of attack more than others. How from a team defensive standpoint can you cover for each other more? Where I think in the second half, like against the Warriors, you guys did a much better job. Like, how can you guys adjust to that versus letting guys kind of play one-on-one?
I mean, it's not a simple. There's not a simple answer to it. It all depends who's going at them, where they're going at them. So first of all, we got to be better one-on-one, and we shouldn't be switching it as easy. Sometimes we should try to keep the matchup, but if we get to those situations, we got to be better one-on-one, and then everyone else got to be focused where that one-on-one is taking place, where we can help from what our rotations and stuff. But there's not a simple answer. It all depends on a matchup, who's going at them, where, and who's on the floor for them, who's on the floor for us, who we can help off of from. So there's more to it than just one simple answer.
Thanks.
Yep.